Hello and welcome to episode 33. So today we need to work on the tank farm. As you can see, I've already dug out a little bit of the space we're going to use, and we have 12 space for 12 tanks right now. There is room for expansion. We could have a third row going that way, or we could just expand out in either direction, that way or that way. But what's important today actually is just to get these first 12 tanks prepared, because 12 should be enough for now. That's at least water, lava, hydrogen chloride, lubricant, and a bunch of others that we potentially can hold. The reason why I dug this out off camera is because I thought I'd spare you any more digging time lapses for now, and work on this one off camera as far as digging it out. I need to dig downward, and it's going to be dug down roughly the same as that, so it's going to be another catwalk based room, and the catwalk is going to come through here again, 3 wide, and it's going to go off in those 2 directions, so it's going to be a catwalk in a T shape. And these tanks are going to go vertical, so there's going to be a lot of vertical room, and they're going to be quite big. So in order to do that, I'm going to go here and cut and dig out this, and I'll be back once that's done, including changing out this, and then I'll come back to time-lapse some decoration for you so you can watch me do the actual decoration this time. It's going to be themed much the same way as I themed the other room, so don't worry about missing out on the other room and how I did that. Cool, so I'll see you soon. Alright, I think that is the room decorated, hopefully. Well, apart from the lights. Don't know how I'm going to do the lights this time. I did little embedded lights in the catwalk last time, but I think I might use this overhead support to hold more of the caged lamps overhead. Might seem kind of cool, as well as the ones underneath. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and cut and get together a whole bunch of materials for the dynamic tanks and then set them up, and I'll be back once I have those to show off. See you soon. Alright, I'm back. 2004 dynamic tanks later, 288 dynamic glass, 36 dynamic valves, and as for raw materials, by the way, that's 1002 steel and 2008 coal. We have 12 11 by 5 by 5 dynamic tanks. Sorry, that should be 5 by 5 by 11 if I'm going by math, right hand coordinates. 275 buckets each. I have my doubts that that is actually buckets, because I seem to have more buckets in that small hydrogen chloride tank back at the desert base than there is actually volume listed. It's odd. I'll have to look up what that actual number is, if not buckets. If it is buckets, I'm not sure what's going on. But we want to inaugurate this with producing some delicious, or rather moving some delicious hydrogen chloride into the tanks. So how we're going to do that is we are going to get a simple node once again. Go. Thank you. Alright. So each of these tanks has three valves. So as far as I am concerned, that is one automatic input, one automatic output, and one manual output. And the manual output, I guess, will be the front ones, and I can come down here and get a bucket of whatever if I need it. That is, if I'm going to need manual output, but the valve is there if I need it. So yeah, so manual input, I'm just going to stick it here for now. Go. And now this thing will be slowly filling with hydrogen chloride. And because hydrogen chloride is an odd fluid, it just expands to the full size of the tank and gets more and more dense in colour as it fills up. So yeah, we have a tank of hydrogen chloride. Hooray! Finally! Okay. So because the time lapse for this episode has been rather long so far in the building of the tank farm, I am actually going to go and check on the time now of the video. Actually, I want to do something just before that, but if we still have time, I want to hook up this hydrogen chloride to some rotary condensators. I think I got that right. And turn it back into a gas where we can use it in the processing of 4 times ore over this way. So the couple of things that I wanted to address just before I go and check on the time, however, is I've removed 2 of the infusers from here and expanded that by 2 each. Now we have 3 redstone and 3 coal, and what I want to show you here is a common setup that I've used in the past in order to involve multiple machines in the crafting of a single recipe. So as you can see, there's just one interface here for each of these recipes. Here's where I make my planks and 3 sawmills. Here's where I make my steel dust and enriched iron and 3 infusions, and that's where I make my enriched alloy. How this works It's a bit messy at the moment, so I'm going to move it somewhere else and make it look better. But how this basically works is, when I order a recipe to be made, let's say I make some enriched alloy, this interface requests it and it passes it onto the chest as an inventory, because that's essentially how the interface works as far as inventories are concerned. When you have a custom recipe like this, it just goes, okay, I'll put it in the closest inventory I can. So the closest inventory here is a chest, so it puts it in the chest here. Then I tried to do it with something other than thermal expansion, but unfortunately I couldn't figure it out with anything else that I have. There may be something else, but this is round robin. Round robin will visit each inventory it can once. There's a bug in this version of thermal expansion, which I hope is taken care of by the time the stable version comes out for 7.10, but the bug is that if you have an even number of destinations for the round robin, it won't round robin properly. So that's not really important here, because 3 is basically the number I like to go with. I like 3s. I like multiples of 3s. You might have noticed my rooms tend to be dug out in multiples of 3. But this here filter is set to stack size 1, which means it'll pull out only a maximum of 1 at a time. Now I could, because of the way that the recipes are set up here, set it to 3. In fact I will, because that'll mean that it'll send 3 at a time. So how this works basically is that it'll go and visit each of these inventories once, which means there'll be even distribution. As even as possible anyway. And the same goes for this, and the same goes for that. So if you need to beef up the power behind one recipe, in this case this is an infusion recipe, you can do it with smelting, you can do it with crushing, you can do it with pulverizing, you can do it with anything, right? But the idea is you're just putting more power behind the single request. In this way I get 3 things being cooked at the same time rather than 1 at a time. Because unfortunately infusers cannot be factories. They will always only have 1 input, whereas these babies have 3 at least, and up to 7 if you have an elite one like this one. Cool. So that's what I set up there, and they just fuzzy import straight back into the system. So just for demonstration purposes, let's say I want to make some steel, right? Let's go with enriched iron. I like to do it stage by stage anyway, because it still goes faster. Begin, make 64 of it. It just dropped 64 iron in this chest, and it's distributing 3 ingots at a time to these. And now they're evenly distributed, and it's making that enriched iron. Right? And then the same thing will happen if I say alloy. Make me 64 alloy. Come back down here. This one is still set to 1 at a time. So you can see how quickly those work because they're maximum upgrades. But you can see how the round robin is just distributing that evenly. Anyway, I'm going to go check on the time of the episode, and I'll be back to continue or say goodbye, depending. See you soon. Okay, we have a little bit of time left. So what we want to do now is that we want to, first of all, get this network to see into the tank farm. So we're going to need a whole bunch of ME cable. Okay, lots of cable, and then the other thing we're going to need is a liquid storage bus. No, a fluid storage bus. This one. Boop. Cool, that was easy. I already had a normal one. Now, with those 2 things, we're also going to probably want a terminal just in case. Terminal. On you go anyway. Terminal. We want one of these ones. What don't we have? Everything. So I need storage cell, access terminal. You. Okay. I forgot what those things are called. What are they? Conversion matrix. How are you doing? I really need to increase the size of those recipes. It really holds up crafting. At some point though, I'm going to do something fancy. I won't spoil it. Right. So we come back here. Terminal. Access terminal. Go. Fluid terminal. What are we missing? One of you. And one of you. Alright. Now go. Cool. So now we have a fluid terminal and a bunch of cable. And so now, basically, I want to dig this thing all the way over here. Cool. See you in a bit. Okay, I'm back. Technically, the system should now recognize that we are storing a whole bunch of hydrogen chloride now. Production is still going very slowly, but it looks like we've emptied out the entire buffer in the desert. And the reason why I wanted to go in this direction is because I want to stick a terminal somewhere up here, somewhere. Probably, like, I don't know. Where would be good for a terminal? I actually think as part of this support, but maybe not. Maybe not, because there's a door that's going to go here, you see, so I can't really use that bit either. Also having it peeking up the side might be nice, but I'm running out of room really. I think that's why the support will be the best idea. Woo. Thank you for catching me. We'll make it part of the support and see how we go. So now, just put that there, and then I'll dig it inside this wall. And dig down. Whoa. That's also a thing. I mean, we could pass it up behind this support, I guess, but it's not really what I had in mind. I guess I'll be wasteful with the cable, and it'll come up behind everything. Where are we anyway? There. Okay, so we're nearly there anyway. Alright. Cable, come with me. So Now we want to lead it up and around. And then I want to get on top of that. So hit. Put the wire mesh back. Get the factory block out. No. Factory block. Right. Cable. Aha! Take that. Space. This is also why I like putting lots of room between the walls of my rooms in my base as well, so that I can do things like that. So now, there it is, liquid hydrogen, 798 buckets worth. Awesome. So now we've got that registered on the system, which is perfect. Now all we need to do is get that turned back into gas. And how are we going to do that? We're going to do that with rotary condensators. In this bag, I have 5 more rotary condensators, but we need to get access to that fluid all over again, and we need to put it somewhere where we can get at it. And I think the best way for that, because I had planned to put the infusers over this way, that the best place to put it would be along here somewhere. So I'll be back once I have the resources, and we will continue. Okay, I'm back. I think I have everything. Except maybe some power cables, but that's easy enough to get. We're right by the system. So I've laid out these rotary condensators. Liquid on the left, gas on the right, facing, I think that's east. No, south. Damn it. Oh well. And then the next thing we're going to do is that I've set this up so all we need is a Certus tank. Certus tank is from ME Liquids, by the way. And the reason why it's not being set up over this direction and closer to the rest of the system is because the liquid is on our main loop, not on our subnetwork. I mean, I could get the liquid onto our subnetwork, and that might be something we work on in the future, but for the sake of getting this process underway, it's best to just hook it up to the system for now. I could even do that off camera. It would be quite tedious and boring work. The next thing we need to do is we need to export the fluid into that Certus tank, and to do that we need to hook it up to the rest of the network at the same time. So, cables to hook you up, and then I need a handy dandy bucket. I'll also need a liquid node being constructed upstairs. So that is one thing that I did forget. Liquid node, please. Then I can run off this way. Now, in this system, you take a bucket, you select what you want, and you say, please put it, export it, please. Import it. Export, import. Maybe. Why no work? Put the liquid hydrogen chloride in the bucket, please. I think I'm going to need a drum. That's unfortunate. But a drum works just fine as well. So, because a bucket doesn't unfortunately hold everything, but a drum can. Oh look, we have an empty drum. That's awesome. That wasn't planned, by the way. A drum can hold anything, but a bucket can't. So if we say drum, now that drum is filled with 256 buckets of hydrogen chloride. So we are going to put that back at some point, but first of all, we want this thing to recognize that it should be exporting hydrogen chloride, and you simply add it to the list like you add anything else in a normal export as an item, and moving that much is just fine because these things can't process very fast at all. The more that you move, let me get NEI out of the way, more that you move, the more AE power units a tick costs, and it gets very expensive. So using it on the lowest setting is just quite fine, actually. And then I need to go upstairs and get that liquid node I made. Liquid, thank you. And some transfer pipe. Transfer pipe, not transfer pipe. 5 please. Well, actually it'll be 4, but never mind. And my elite power cables. Thank you very much. Alright, so back down we go. Transfer node. So now this will be filling up on the liquid side as soon as I change the operation. See, now it's going from liquid to gas. It defaults to gas to liquid. Deconcentrating. Transfer pipe. Now all of them randomly will be receiving hydrogen chloride. One of them is almost full. The others are slowly being worked on. Cool. Next thing is that we need to hook this up to power. Somewhere in this floor is power. I'll find it. Oh, that wasn't meant to happen. Oh well. And look, that is actually some super handy power. Lead those up. There we go. And now those will be automatically running. And the other thing that I want to do is put that deconcentrator back. Stick you back onto that mode, and off you trot. So as you can see, some of these are producing hydrogen chloride again, and simply what we want to do now is hook up some pressure cable, and finally we want gas tank on this side, I think, and this gas tank will just fill with gaseous hydrogen chloride as fast as it possibly can from these 5 rotary condensators. Yes, I'm going to say it like that every time. Rotary no, never mind. Alright, so that is the process of turning the liquid back into a gas, back at the base, all the way from the desert. So, we have quite a lot to work with now, fortunately. And that's just going to happily fill up, and then next episode we are going to work on putting the purifiers in, installing the purifiers. It'll be 3 purifier factories, and then getting the shards up and running, so that we have 4 times ore processing. It's been a long few episodes, but we're nearly there. And I've really enjoyed it. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.